What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, well, you can see that I'm recording this on May 27th, and we are right around the corner from June, when we will hopefully get land at least some point within the next 4, maybe 6 weeks, depending on if there's any delays. But with that being said, I wanted to take a quick look at what the land survey looks like, or do a quick survey of the land. I know, pun intended, that was terrible. But as you can see here, 150,000 plots. We have only surveyed still 80% of them, maybe, well, just under 81%. But the important thing here is, just in case you forgot, in order to receive the SPS rewards that were essentially getting airdropped, it's not the airdrop, but these SPS rewards that were just being given out to landholders, that is only now for surveyed land, and it's been that way probably for at least a month at this point. So when we look at the breakdown of what remains of close to 30,000, we'll just say a little over 29,000 land plots, you can see that there are 11,000 unsurveyed, and then another 17,500 that are unclaimed. So meaning these haven't even been converted from land, tract, or region tokens into actual plots that have specific IDs, let alone be surveyed. So this is almost 20% of land that is still just kind of sitting out there. And I don't necessarily want to do a full-on survey. I keep using that word, but I guess review of land until we see more of those open. So for now, I'm just kind of calling it out because I don't know what to expect, and I'm curious to hear your opinion, your perspective on what you think is going on with this, because there is every incentive to be earning SPS. Granted, it's just like a couple of SPS per day, probably not even 2 SPS per day per plot. That I don't quite understand why people would forgo that, unless of course they are trying to maybe trade land, think that holding on to plots, specific plot, not specific, but to plot tokens or track tokens that may have more value in the future. I'm really not sure why. So taking a look at this, I want to go actually look at peak monsters, because peak monsters, we can actually see what is out there in the ecosystem in terms of the region, tract, and land plot tokens. Again, these are not surveyed nor claimed, so there's no deed yet. So at least from what we're aware of, and actually I don't know if it's at least, but it looks like there's 2 region tokens here. I've never heard of these accounts, Deer 3, or what of this Exorcist is what it looks like. So that's 2,000 plots just right there. And then you can see land tracks, and I'm just trying to look at some of the names here, and you can see Vugtis has 12 tracks. So the thing is, Vugtis is actually very active within the game. So I'm not too worried about these 12 tracks. I think at some point they'll be there. And I'm curious to know if the reason that Vugtis is holding on is because maybe it's like holding on to packs, right? So the idea of like holding on to tracks in the future, and somebody wanted to come and roll the dice, they may pay more for the tracks than kind of the sum of all the parts that you would get right now. But SL Wax looks like this is, there's 9 tracks on Wax. So those are probably being traded around potentially on that marketplace. I don't recognize some of the other names on here outside of Vugtis. So again, I'm not saying that these players are inactive, but I am just trying to look at this and be like, there's a good amount of tracks here. So let's see, 33. So 33, so 6 to 33 is 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 42, and 54. 54 tracks still unclaimed. And then of course there's quite a few land plots, single land plots available. You can see a bunch here on SL Wax, a bunch on Hive. Again, those are the ones that I'm assuming are being traded back and forth. Now, Crypto Eater, Nate, we know those names. Yabamat still has 66. So I'm not as worried about the individual land plots, and I'll tell you why. And we can close out the video for this. If you see, or if you notice how land is being claimed, if a keep or a castle, for example, has not been claimed within a region, there is a chance, right? If there's a chance that you can go in, claim your plot token for one of those unclaimed deeds, and get the keep or castle token, or get the keep or castle on that land. So I'm sure a lot of people are playing that game. You can see there's still quite a few of these land plots available, but you can't necessarily play that game with tracts or regions. I mean, you're guaranteed to get a keep, you're guaranteed to get a keep for a tract, and you're guaranteed to get a castle for a region. So ultimately, I'm trying to figure out when and where we will see a lot of these start to get claimed, and more importantly, I guess, surveyed overall, so we can get a better idea of the overlay of land and what to expect. But until that point, we'll save that for another video. I'm just trying to follow this. I mean, it's been a while since I've really looked and dug deep into the Pretoria section of Splinter Cards. So shout out to Splinter Cards, and it just doesn't seem like we've moved that much in terms of overall percentage. We're still sitting just above 80% here. And there's still 20%, almost 20% of land that is not yet surveyed or claimed. So my question for you, are you sitting on any land plots, unclaimed land plots? These are going for, I believe, only like $100 now on the secondary market. Here you go. Plot. Oh, actually, it was down. I saw 104 earlier, but maybe that was just the bid. Oh yeah, the bid is down to 101. So I'm curious to know, if you are playing this game, if you're willing to share your strategy, what are you trying to do? What is your goal with this? Are you kind of engaging with that? Let's try and get a keep. Let's try and get a castle. Let's try and get that specific one. Or is this something where you just, if you're holding on to it, you think that these specific plot tokens or region or tract, if you have those, are going to be much more valuable in the future? I'm just trying to understand the strategy here for folks, and maybe we can just, I don't know, compare notes and share information. That's all we got. So that is all I have for you in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.